Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, great male son of rule well, and Shalom to the brothers doing the work of sincerity and truth. The brother, I'm a one. Okay. Yeah, so saw this article and it's hilarious because it's the exact same thing with what the hell is it called? With the Maxine passports in the UK, where at one point they said, "Oh, no, we're definitely not looking to do it," and then they just said, "Oh, we can't rule it out." And then a little while later, they were just like, "Oh, well, we're gonna test it and da da da." So funny enough, this the yesterday, like Sunday evening, what the hell is it called? Sunday evening, the Euro 2020 at Wembley, which was in London. That basically was the first, I think the first event, maybe not the first, but I think that was like the first major event they were using to test Maxine passports and whatnot. And it's funny as well because like the England fans, just being the nutcases they were, them man just like, I think someone busted in like a side door, then just like hella people started running in through a side door. So that shit just failed epically. And funny because of that happening anyway, that might just result in more madness going down. Like, well, Esau tightening his grip as far as with how far they're gonna go, how they're gonna enforce. So this is it's on mediaite.com. And this is what Jen Psaki announces Biden will support local vaccine mandates. So, like Biden said, like, oh yeah, they're not gonna mandate it on a federal level, but of course, like for local governments or even like companies already have been doing it, and that was something they said was fine. It being done on a state level just means eventually once all the states instate it, then it's just like what can you do? So it says what one day after Dr. Fauci called for vaccine mandates on local level, the White House is stating that it will support municipalities who choose to enact them. During Monday's White House press briefing, Fox News correspondent Peter Doocy confronted Press Secretary Jen Psaki on Fauci's remarks, which were made Sunday on CNN. Does President Biden agree with Dr. Fauci that on the local level there should be more vaccine mandates? He says more, so does that mean there's already some? It might get into it later. So it said Psaki replied that she did not have a specific context. Doocy interjected to provide Fauci's full quote. I have been of this opinion, and I remain of that opinion, that I do believe at the local level there should be more mandates. There really should be. We're talking about life and death situations. We've lost 600,000 Americans already, and we're still losing more people. And Fauci's really been the one who's been pushing and setting the agenda as far as generally whatever he said has been what's gone. Especially since Biden came in, and he's I think it was him that said, like, even after people started getting their shots, he was the one like, oh yeah, you still gotta, comply with all the other regulations. Like there was no change for like the first month or few weeks, if I'm remembering correctly. So this is what Psaki reiterated the White House's stance there will not be a federal mandate, but added that local mandates would have Biden's backing. Yeah, so they're just saying that, oh, on the federal level, it's not going to be done. But, locally, well, it's up to you. So if I remember the context of the question, it was about federal mandates, I believe. Psaki said, she added, that's not a decision we are making. That's not our intention from the federal government. There will be decisions made by private sector entities, by universities, by educational institutions. So it's basically the same thing as what Boris is doing. Because I think next week Monday is when all the restrictions are meant to go away. But they said what did they say? It's like with the vaccine passport, that can be enforced depending on if people want to or not. That's I think what he said from before. I don't think it's changed. So but yeah, that might change as well because they switched up the guys running it. So they should decide how to keep the community safe. If they decide to make that decision, we certainly support them in that step. The President said on March 11th, my message to you is this: listen to Dr. Fauci, Ducey said. Is he now saying don't listen to Dr. Fauci? Psaki chuckled and sarcastically told Ducey, who had just returned from some time off, welcome back. She added, what Dr. Fauci was conveying is there will be decisions made by local leaders, just like there will be decisions made by business leaders, by institutional leaders, or how. So yeah, it's gonna be essentially just saying it's gonna be broken off and just brought in certain fields first, which is how they always do these things. You just rather than just having it a top, just have. Especially with the structure of America's government, where a lot of the states do their own thing, and then federal mandates, some of them will fight against it. They'll just have them pushing these things out, in pushing these things out individually until later on. Let me read this. Daniel 8:25. And through his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and shall magnify himself in his heart. Yeah, that policy. That's all these things Esau's doing. He's doing it through policy, and that's the thing. It's gonna start local, and it's gonna increase in scope. Because just like with, the main thing is health jobs. Because in the UK. It's what healthcare workers, they said, have to get the vaccine by October. No, healthcare workers? No, just care workers. Anyone who works in a care home has to get by October. I think that's the only one that's been enforced so far. And as far as for the NHS, it's not at that point yet. With nurses, doctors, that kind of shit. But yeah, that's it was going to be next. They were saying firefighters, police officers, and what, doctors, nurses, A&E, thingy drivers, ambulance drivers and whatnot. All them are most likely to be next. And then it will just, be increased segment by segment until, it's fully enforced. And that's, it's gonna be the same thing with his mark, because you can see the process by which um Esau's ground the people down. It's been success. It's been hella successful. Kind of, yeah, it's kind of nuts. People's minds are gone, man. Any and everyone. It's like all the people I'm working with. They're talking about, oh, just got my shots, and I said like, oh, you said, are you getting yours? I said, hell, I said no. So, oh, so you anti-max? I was like, oh, if that's what it means, sure. And it's just, oh, you don't have to get so defensive. I was like, oh. The demonization, as if you're not gonna jump on this thing, is out daily, man. Every day, bruv. It's still. It's funny because I've got a YouTube Premium, so you're not meant to get ads, but then I still get those notifications for the NHS. About, oh, is the vaccine safe? Facts, and I'm like, bruh, this is a propaganda campaign, man. It's actually nuts how hard they get. It shows how hard Esau can go in, man. So, by peace he shall, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. By peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Yeah. So by peace he'll destroy many, and that's the thing. These policies, it's always seen as there's a benefit, but that's what goes into Psalms, where it's like, his words were smooth and butter, yet war was in his heart. So that this is the guy we're dealing with, man. Always got to watch, how these laws are passed and what Esau's pushing through, because that's how he's getting these things that his system in, man. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Yeah, Shalom.